Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having an amazing Sunday and also an amazing week. I don't know if I should be switching my intro because I feel like it's so short and straight to the point, but I don't really know what else to say. Genesis 14 and 15 talks about Abram rescuing Lot and the covenant that God makes with Abram. Genesis 14 and 15 was supposed to be homework, but I'm just going to talk about it for a little bit, and then we'll read Genesis 16 and 17, and then that's it. Genesis 14 says, we'll read from right here. Okay, so, the four kings took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all their food and went on. They also took Abram's nephew Lot and his possessions, for he was living in Sodom, and they went on. One of the survivors came and told Abram the Hebrew, who lived near the oaks belonging to Mamre the Amorite, the brother of Eshcol and the brother of Aner. They were bound by a treaty with Abram. When Abram heard that his relative had been taken prisoner, he assembled his 318 trained men born in his household, and they went in pursuit as far as Dan. And he and his servants deployed against them by night, defeated them, and pursued them as far as Hobah to the north of Damascus. He brought back all the goods, and also his relative Lot and his goods, as well as the woman and the other people. Well, and then it says that Abram returned from defeating Chedorlaomer and the kings who were with him. The king of Sodom went out to meet him in the Shavat Valley and technically just brought him wine and bread, and because he was a priest to the Most High, to God the Most High. He blessed Abram and said, Abram is blessed by God Most High, creator of heaven and earth, and blessed be God Most High, who has handed over your enemies to you. And Abram gave him a tenth of everything. Then king of Sodom said to Abram, give me the people, but take the possessions for yourself. But Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have raised my hand and an oath to the Lord God Most High, creator of heavens and the earth, that I will not take a thread or a sandal strap or anything that belongs to you. So you can never say, I made Abram rich. I will take nothing except what the servants have eaten. But as for the share of the men who came with me, Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre, they can take their share. I wrote that Abram is inspirational too. He remembered his promise to God, and he does not want any human being to be able to have authority to say to him, what you've become is because of us, is because we helped you get there. He's not letting any human be able to say that to him. He wants all the glory be to God. And I said, God already told him he will be rich with offsprings. And that's kind of like, and that's beautiful, because I feel like the human ambition would kind of want more. Like, yeah, God told me he's going to give me this. He's going to give me what he promised me. He's going to give me, what I desire. But somebody's offering me more. Like, why don't I take it? Why, But Abraham was satisfied with God giving him many offsprings, a whole nation, a whole land. And the Lord always reassured Abraham. It wasn't a one-time revelation. It was a constant reoccurrence of God telling him, Abraham, that your offsprings are going to be very numerous. It's going to be, you can't even count them. It's like how much stars there is in the sky, how much sand, or how much, what do you say, how much dust. That but Genesis 15, again, see, that was God reassuring Abram by giving him a vision. After these events, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision. Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield. Your reward will be very great. But Abram said, Lord, what can you give me since I am childless? And the heir of my house is Eliezer of Damascus. Abram continued, Look, you have given me no offsprings, so a slave born in my house will be my heir. Now the word of the Lord came to him, This one will not be your heir. Instead, one who comes from your own body will be your heir. You okay? He took him outside and said, Look at the... See, I just talked about the sky thing. Look at the sky and count the stars. If you are able to count them, then he said to him, Your offsprings will be that numerous. And believed the Lord, he credited it to him as righteousness. He also said to him, I am the Lord who brought you from Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land to possess. But he said, Lord God, how can I know that I will possess it? He said to him, God said to him, Bring me a 3-year-old cow, a 3-year-old female goat, a 3-year-old ram, a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. So he brought all of these to God, cut them in half, and laid the pieces opposite to each other, but he did not cut the bird in half. Birds of prey came down on the carcasses, which I think dead body, but Abram drove them away. As the sun was setting, a deep sleep came over Abram, and suddenly a great terror and darkness descended on him. Then the Lord said to Abram, No, this is for certain. I love how when Abram was asking... Sorry, my brother just came home. But I love how when the Lord said to Abram... When Abram started asking more and being more curious about, oh God, like I know you're telling me one thing, but the outcome is still the same. I'm still childless. I know you're telling me you're gonna give me so many offsprings, but when is that gonna be? I have no kids. You know, I'm getting older. I love that when Abram was asking all these questions, and I feel like even though he was asking, it wasn't messing up with his faith to the Lord. It wasn't messing up with his faith to what God says. But God said to Abram, Know this for certain, your offspring will be resident aliens for 400 years in a land that does not belong to them, and will be enslaved and oppressed. However, I will judge the nation they serve, and afterward they will go out with many... She's sad. She wants the door to be open so she could go to my brother. However, I will judge the nation they serve, and afterward they will go out with many possessions, but you will go to your ancestors in peace and be buried at a good old age. Sorry. In the 4th generation they will return here, for the iniquity of the Amorites has not reached its full measure. When the sun had set and it was dark, a smoking fire pot and a flaming torch appeared. And passed between the divided animals. On that day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, I give this land to your offspring, from the brook of Egypt to the great river, the Euphrates river, the land of the Kenites, Kenizzites, Cadmonites, Hittites, Perizzites, Rephaim, Amorites, Canaanites, Girgashites, and Jebusites. That's a lot. But yeah, God is saying that all these different lands, cities, or whatever, they will all belong to you. They will all belong to your offsprings. And I love how God wasn't afraid of telling Abraham, look, I know I'm telling you I'm going to make your offsprings very numerous, but know that they will be oppressed for how long? For 400 years. But don't be scared, because in the fourth generation, after all that pain, in the fourth generation, that's when all of the things I'm saying to you right now is going to happen. So don't lose faith, because they will get out of that oppression because of me. Okay, finally, now we can get to reading me and you. Okay, Genesis 16, it says, Abram's wife Sarai had not borne any children for him, but she owned an Egyptian slave named Hagar. Sarai said to Abram, since the Lord has prevented me from bearing children, go to my slave, perhaps through her I can build a family. Okay, that's most of us. We're impatient. God is telling us one thing, but we're impatient. And then we end up acting out on our own, kind of like, okay, God, I know you said you're going to give me a great nation and you're taking forever, so let me take the action for myself and maybe you could bless it too. And Abram agreed to what Sarai said, which I didn't really understand, because God is constantly reminding Abraham that, yo, I'll give you a whole nation. And previously he said, when he asked God, hey, since you have given me no offspring, that's in Genesis 15 verse 3, since you have given me no offspring, so a slave born in my household will be my heir. God told you, this one will not be your heir. Instead, one that comes from your body will be your heir, bro. Sorry. Like, I don't know why he agreed with Sarai when God confirmed that you will have one of your own. Anyway. Abram agreed to what Sarai said, so Abram's wife Sarai took Hagar, her Egyptian slave, and gave her to her husband Abram as a wife for him. This happened after Abram had lived in the land of Canaan 10 years. So yeah, God has been promising to Abram about that, I'll give you a whole numerous nation, but it's been 10 years. He has been patient for 10 years. So I do understand his frustration. He slept with Hagar and she became pregnant. When she saw that she was pregnant, her mistress became contemptible to her. Which I don't understand. It was Sarah's idea. Why are you mad now?
I can't believe I did that. I am so stupid.
Then Sarai said to Abram, you are responsible for my suffering. The man did what you wanted him to do. I put my slave in your arms, and when she saw that she was pregnant, I became contemptible to her. At least she's honest. May the Lord judge between me and you. Abraham replied to Sarai, here your slave is in your power. Do whatever you want with her. Shouldn't have said that. Then Sarai mistreated her so much that she ran away from her.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go? Nope.
I wrote, what, Sarai? Why are you upset? It was your plan. Why would Abraham not talk to God first before sleeping with Hagar? And I said, your suffering will be rewarded, Hagar. But yeah, Hagar ran away. And then the angel of the Lord found her by a spring in the wilderness, the spring on the way to shore. Sure. It's spelled S-H-U-R. He said, Hagar, slave of Sarai, where have you come from and where are you going? I love that. Like, most of the times the questions that are in the Bible, like, remember how the first question in the Bible was, where are you? Now again, an angel of the Lord is asking, where are you going? Where did you come from? God, you know where she came from, and yet you're still asking. I love that. He cares about our answer. Like, and she replied, I'm running away from my mistress Sarai. The angel of the Lord said to her, go back to your mistress and submit to her authority. The angel of the Lord said to her, I will greatly multiply your offspring, and there will be too many to count. See what I'm saying? She wasn't supposed to be part of the plan, but I guess God found favor in her and saw that she was getting mistreated, so it was like, you know what? You're part of the blessing too. The angel of the Lord said to her, you have conceived and will have a son. You will name him Ishmael, for the Lord has heard your cry of affliction. This man will be like a wild donkey. His hand will be against everyone, and everyone's hand will be against him. His hand will be against everyone, and everyone's hand will be against him. Is that a bad thing? He will settle near all his relatives. So she named the Lord who spoke to her, you are El Roi. For she said, in this place have I actually seen the one who sees me. That is why the well is called Ber Lahai Roi. It is between Kadesh and Bered. So Hagar gave birth to Abram's son, and Abram named his son, whom Hagar bore. Sounds wrong. Ishmael. Abraham was 86 years old when Hagar bore Ishmael to him. Yep, and I wrote, God sees and hears our cries. God is so charming. He is a promise keeper. Okay. Genesis 17 is about the covenant of circumcision. When Abram was 99 years old, another, 86, now he's 90, another 4 years later, the Lord appeared to him, saying, I am God Almighty. Live in my presence and be blameless. I will set my covenant between me and you, and I will multiply you greatly. God, it's been almost 14 years. Do we have patience to wait upon God, upon what God has set for us? Do we have that type of patience? Okay. Then Abraham fell face down and God spoke with him. As for me, here is my covenant with you. You will become the father of many nations. Your name will no longer be Abram. Finally, because I've been saying it wrong the whole time. Your name will be Abraham. For I will make you the father of many nations. I will make you extremely fruitful and will make nations and kings come from you. I will confirm my covenant that is between me and you and your future offspring throughout the generations. It is a permanent covenant to be your It is a permanent covenant to be your God and the God of your offspring after you. That was my heater, sorry. And to you and your future offspring, I will give the land where you are residing. That's beautiful. Like, sometimes you're already in the room where God is going to bless your future offsprings too. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Like, you probably already walked in the room that will be your grandkids' blessing. All the land of Canaan as a permanent possession, and I will be their God. God also said to Abraham, as for you, you and your offspring after you throughout their generations are to keep my covenant. This is my covenant between me and you and your offsprings after you, which you are to keep. Every one of your males must be circumcised. So just Google if you don't know, because I don't know if I could talk about it. It's kind of weird. Anyway, you must circumcise the flesh of your foreskin to serve as a sign of the covenant between me and you. Throughout your generations, every male among you is to be circumcised at 8 days old. 8 days. Newborn. But I mean, I feel like the baby could barely feel it, so I think that's probably the perfect age. Every male born in your household or purchased from any foreigner and not your offspring. So like all of them has to be circumcised. Whether born in your household or purchased, he must be circumcised. My covenant will be marked in your flesh as a permanent covenant. If any male is not circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin, that man will be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant. But don't worry, I think I don't know yet. Actually, let me not say what I'm about to say because I haven't gotten to the New Testament, so I can't talk about what I think I know because sometimes people say things and it's actually not in the Bible yet. So I'll read it for myself and then I'll come back to this moment. But yeah, don't worry about the circumcision thing. Well, let me not say that because I don't know yet. But that's what happened in the Old Testament. We'll see. Okay? So yeah, it was a covenant between Abraham's offspring and him with God. God said to Abraham, as for your wife Sarai, do not call her Sarai, for Sarah will be her name. I will bless her indeed. I will give you a son by her. I will bless her, and she will produce nations. Kings of peoples will come from her. I'm surprised that God didn't get mad that Sarai did what she did, because she thought of the plan to make Hagar sleep with her husband. To make Hagar sleep with her husband. Then got mad at it. Then mistreated Hagar. And then you'll see what she does later on. So I'm surprised that God wasn't mad, cause I'm in Joshua something. I'm in Joshua. Sorry, I don't know why I forgot. I'm in Joshua 13 right now, and the way that God has been angry to the because of the Israelites' actions is so quick. Like his anger be quick in that moment, and it's crazy how right now he's chill. God is still chill. God is always chill. He be having valid crash outs. I think that's why we need to understand and study the word instead of just saying, oh, God seems scary in the Old Testament, because yeah, the Israelites were very stubborn. Okay, for her name will be Sarah. She will produce nations, kings of people will come from her. Abraham fell face down. Then he laughed and said to himself, can a child be born to 100-year-old man? He's 100. Oh, 99 years old. Abraham was 99 years old. So that wasn't even 4 years later, guys. I'm not trying to do the math right now. But where? He's 100 now. Can Sarah, a 99-year-old woman, give birth? So Abraham said to God, if only Ishmael were acceptable to you. Yo, God already told you, he can make it happen. But God said, no, your wife Sarah will bear your son. Will bear you a son, and you will name him Isaac. I will confirm my covenant with him as a permanent covenant for his future offspring. As for Ishmael, I have heard you. I will certainly bless him. I will make him fruitful and multiply him greatly. So Hagar's son is not going to be forgotten. He will father 12 tribal leaders, and I will make him into a great nation. But I will confirm my covenant with Isaac, whom Sarah will bear to you at this time next year. Dang, so God said, you're 100 years old. You're 100 years old now, but you're not going to have the kid yet. So same time next year? When he finished talking with him, God withdrew from Abraham. So Abraham took his son Ishmael and those born in his household or purchased, every male among the members of Abraham's household, and he circumcised the flesh of their foreskin on that very day. Didn't waste no time. Just as God had said to him. Abraham was 99 years old when the flesh of his foreskin was circumcised. 99 years old, see? And his son Ishmael was 13 years old when the flesh of his foreskin was circumcised. On that very day, Abraham and his son Ishmael were circumcised, and all the men of his household, whether born in his household or purchased from a foreigner, were circumcised with him. Now the covenant was made all together. Yeah, that was it, guys. Oh, I had a little note. I said that Sarah was gonna be pregnant anyway. They were impatient and God allowed and used what they did. Was it in God's plan regardless? Oh, I was asking, like, is Ishmael and what Sarah did with Hagar, was all of that in God's plan regardless? Because sometimes, because I've heard the Bible verse that says, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. So I know Sarah didn't mean this as like a bad thing, but you know what I'm saying? Like, God still used this even though it wasn't given by him or something. Like, it was our own action, and he still like turned it for good. And I said anything God does is possible. Covenant equals promise equal agreement. Yes. Okay, that's all, guys. Homework is Genesis 18, which is titled Abraham's 3 Visitors. I hope you guys had fun. Today's video was kind of longer than usual, but I had fun. I hope you have a good day and a good week. Bye. Remember that God cares for you and I care for you way more. Wait, I said it wrong. I care for you, but God cares for you way more. Bye-bye.